Hello and welcome to Pickle's Garage. Today I want to teach you about your brake lights never turning off. So as you can see, they're on and there is no one at the brakes. So typically this is going to mean that the switch by your brake pedal is either broken or malfunctioning or something like that. So there might be other reasons why your brake lights might be having issues, but if you just have your brake lights constantly on, an easy way to check it is to just go under here. You'll see that's the switch, that white box, and there's a little plunger, which you can kind of make out, which is really just barely not against it. So you see how it's just not even touching, not even interacting with the brake pedal. So obviously that's not going to do anything, and you could double check it normally if you just take like a cap of sorts and then slide it under there. Boom. And so like that. Now you can kind of see the plunger a little bit better. But then when you go back, you'll see that the lights are off. So that is the issue that I'm having with this. So I have actually replaced this already. The parts, the aftermarket parts are kind of garbage, to be honest. There's a couple different types you can get, and I'm playing around with that now and just seeing if another one is of better quality. What I had been able to do is I can kind of like pull it out a little bit. It'll make like a clicking noise, and then sometimes it'll hold that position, sometimes it won't. So I don't know if it was designed with some level of adjustability, but unlikely. So I'm just going to go ahead and replace it because the thing is junk anyways, because one, it's not something you want to drive around like that because you're not going to know really that your brake lights are staying constantly on unless, the drivers around you are acting kind of funny. But it's also draining on your battery if for whatever reason you walk around the front and you just never look at the back. It'll come out and your battery will be dead. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how to change that out today. Alright, so here is our replacement. So gives you a better look at the plunger I was telling you about. And so this is from standard. When OE fails, trust standard. So we'll go ahead and test this out. I feel like this is definitely a different brand than I got in the last one. It feels a little different, like the plunger action. So when I pull out the broken one here in a second, we'll see if we can see the obvious fail of, I guess, OE. Alright, so another important thing to keep in mind is this is a one-time installation part. So the reason why that is because there's a metal bracket that this will go right through right here, and you see how they have these like plastic tabs right there. If you're ever going to remove this, it's just going to break those tabs. So it doesn't make it any more difficult to install. Just know that while you're removing the old one, likely you're going to end up breaking it, which is fine. So keeping that in mind, you might disassemble it a couple different ways because of that. So what I did on the first one is I was able to get a screwdriver to press one of the tabs, and then I just backed it out slightly, and that actually worked from the bracket side. On this most recent one, the tabs, because I had replaced this a little while ago, the tabs were still pretty fresh and new, and so I actually pulled it out of the housing. And see how that plunger bit is still there. So I'll still go and remove that, but the reason why I pulled the housing out first is because it has this plug that I'm removing as well. And so obviously, it's not as big of a deal if you break this part, but you don't want to break your plug. So it's got those green tabs that slide into those holes here, and so I just took a screwdriver and very gently wedged between this plastic part, like the light, like white and the gray, and then just kind of opened it up a little bit, and now the plug will slide out. And so now that the plug is removed right here in my hand. Then I can go ahead and continue breaking this off. So there is that, which is now garbage. And so now I'm going to remove the rest of the plunger here. And then I will show you the next part. So I guess the best feature that the former part had was that it does not let go. So it might fight you a little bit. Basically, I just got these clamps here and I just squeezed it from the one side and it ended up pinching and breaking it in. So that is that removed. And so what these are is they are self-adjustable. And so what you do is that clicking I was talking about where you pull it out until it clicks. So you pull it out a little farther than you think you need, and then when you slowly put the brake pedal back onto it, then it will self-adjust to where it needs to be. Where I think this one had the biggest issue is its point of ratcheting, its point of saying that the exact length that's needed is there. It was like right where my brake pedal would rest, and so I think that's why I was getting stuck. But in any case, this, just kind of looking at it and how easily it fell apart, this is definitely cheap. So let me show you how to put in the new piece now. Alright, so there is the opening, and what you'll notice is there's a little notch at the bottom. And so, like I was saying, how this is a one-time installation, they try and make it as easy as possible. So right there you see that this has a notch, right? So what you'll do is you'll plug it in first, which I'm going to need to do with my other hand here, so you won't see that bit, but then I'll show you. You just press it in. Alright, so slides in nice and easy. So now I'm going to line up that bottom notch right down there with the opening, and I'm just going to press it through. Alright, so it is now installed. So all you need to do is you just need to double check that plunger is pressing in, right? So just have a friend check that your lights are going on and off, and it'll ratchet right into place. So you just make it a little longer than it needs to be. You'll hear some clicking, and then it'll adjust to where it needs to go. Yours might be a little off center like mine. Obviously the one I pulled out was straight up and down. That's completely fine because the tab will line it up as need be. Alright, well, thank you for watching.